Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike here with you once again. I am sorry for the delay. It was a very busy holiday weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And yeah, I'm here to give you my thoughts and a little recap of Impact Wrestling's Against All Odds. So, grab yourself a snack, maybe something to drink, and let's do this. So, first up, first match on the pre-show, a couple of luchadors going head-to-head as the powerhouse of Decay, Black Taurus, takes on Laredo Kid, the former AAA Cruiserweight Champion. And oh boy, this clash of styles of power and speed it was a very fun match. A lot of high flying from Laredo Kid, a lot of big old power spots from Taurus, including a top rope suplex, which was crazy. Taurus with a big old pounce. If you don't know what that is, that's like a kind of a shoulder block like John Cena does, but it puts more of the body into it. By Taurus for the 1, 2, 3. So your winner, Black Taurus, which honestly took me by surprise. Thought Laredo Kid was going to get the win here. Next up for the Digital Media Championship, gotta hate that name, you have in a .com match, which is, I think it's essentially a street fight, but with computer stuff. Like, I think a mainframe was in there, keyboard, which was sick, and like computer monitors and stuff, which was honestly a little nuts. Competitors are Rich Swann, the defending champion, taking on Brian Myers, I guess you can call him former champion, but he had the physical title, but Swann beat Cardona not too long before this, so technically Swann's been the champion, but it's complicated. Like I said, this was a very fun kind of nonsense match. And they brought out pretty much everything except the kitchen sink, which maybe one day we'll see a kitchen sink in Impact again. A lot of good back and forth. And Myers gets the win here, which I am very surprised at a relatively short reign for Rich Swann, but, I enjoy it. Alright, first match on the main card. A bit of a surprise, a late addition to the card. You had the Motor City Machine Guns taking on Bullet Club's newest members, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. And I will tell you, Bay and Austin worked really, really well together. A lot of counters from super kicks, a lot of good back and forth, a lot of diving, which, if you're into that thing, welcome. Were there like a few little mistakes? Sure, but I think these two pulled off a really good match. Finish came with Sabin in the ring on his own. Looked like he was going to get hit with a finish. Shelly comes in for the save, hits their tag finish. And then Sabin goes for the Cradle Shock, hits it on Bay, which I'm a little surprised they're kind of, I wouldn't say burying Bay, but having him lose so much. Chris Bay, I think, needs to be pushed a little more. Winners at like Shelly and Chris Sabin. I'm gonna give this the thumbs kind of right here. Like it was a fun match, but there was more than a couple mistakes. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Next match, it's a tag team match, player, and no, it is not for the Knockouts tag team titles. as Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo take on Mia Yim and Mickie James. Yim and James come out to a mixed version of both their songs, which was honestly kind of dope. Um, Definitely a really fun clash of styles here, as Yim is more speed based. Mickie James is definitely a bit more technical, but she's, I guess, more of a powerhouse, but she didn't go for a ton of power moves. And then you had the prime technical ability of Purrazzo and the kind of unpredictableness of Chelsea Green, which it's going to be interesting. Apparently Green and Purrazzo have teamed in the Independents, which was interesting. And then they tried to get together in WWE, in which they, pretty much said no. Although, were they in WWE at the same time? I don't think they were. They might have been at one point, like real early NXT. Finish ends with Mia Yim and Chelsea Green on the outside. Purrazzo with the big old submission. No, she hit the Queen. I don't want to say the Queen Slayer because that's Anna Jay's finisher. Queen's Gambit. That's what it is. It's like a pile driver from the middle rope, which is sick looking. 1, 2, 3. Your winners, Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. And I'm kind of hoping this leads to... This is definitely a new team here, and hopefully they go for the Knockouts Tag Team title, which, Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary, kind of spoiler alert, sorry, versus Purrazzo and Green. I think that could be a lot of fun. I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. Not a bad match, but not really that something to write home about. So, it was fun for what it is, though. Next match, I'm going to say this was the match of the evening, as you have the X Division title on the line. Speedball Mike Bailey, the champion, defends against former champion Trey Miguel. Trey won a 4-way that included, I believe it was Chris Bay, Laredo Kid, and God, who was the third one? I think it was either Blake Christian or it was either Christian or one of the other guys. That's kind of been coming in and out of the company a little more. And honestly, this was a lot of fun. A lot of flying around. A lot of bloody Trey Miguel countered out of the Ultima weapon, which was... That was impressive. Match came to a close after a big old spin kick to the corner by Bailey, and then, he finally got the Ultima weapon, got the win. So I'm going to give this 2 big old thumbs up, and I'm going to give it the Big Mike seal of must watch. If you are not currently watching any Mike Bailey matches, I think this is the one for you. Next up, Knockouts Tag Team Title Match. As we got Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, the champions, taking on The Influence, although a little bit of a remix version, as it's Tenille Dashwood and newcomer Giselle Shaw, who honestly put in the work for this match. Like, this match was a lot more fun than the previous Knockouts title tag team match earlier in the evening. Sorry, Mickey. But you could kind of feel the tension within this match, and then with the threat of Madison Rayne at ringside, you knew she was eventually going to become involved in the match. Real early on, there was a counter uh, by the Influence after a double spear attempt, which was bloody brilliant. Um, then you had Rosemary kind of struggling with Shaw as she was, she just wanted to take her head off, and then that kind of got the better of her. A lot of blind tags between Taya and Rosemary, which was interesting. Although this is kind of their first time teaming together in a while, considering Taya's been in WWE. And then finish comes with after a big old tag team move by the champs to Tenille, which that's interesting. So yeah, that's that. Kind of an unremarkable match. It doesn't really stick in the brain like a lot of the others I've seen. Was it a bad match? No. Was it a memorable one? Not really. So it's gonna give it a thumbs right here. The big moment happened after the match as Masha Slamovich, who again another relative newcomer to the Knockouts division, has her Nilla envelope, gives it to Tenille Dashwood. She's next on the list, in which rest in peace Madison Rayne. Tenille Dashwood. Next match, you got the 10-man tag team match playa. As you got Honor No More being represented by Eddie Edwards, Kenny King, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett. It was supposed to be Vincent in that last spot, but earlier on in the night, Vincent pretty much vouched for PCO, who has been getting a lot of good reactions from the crowd lately, which is interesting, which is starting to divide Honor No More and PCO, which I think it's time to split PCO off. I think he's going to be great on his own. But then Vincent gives his spot up to PCO, and we get this match as they take on the team of Heath Slater, the Good Brothers, who are baby faces right now, which is weird, and also the tag champs, and the reunited James Storm and Chris Harris. That's right, the legends themselves are back together. America's Most Wanted. And boy, oh boy, was there a whole lot of drama, especially around Chris Harris, who has some... previous to this outing, he had some thing about him in which he couldn't wrestle anymore, which was... Personally, I've never heard of this. Apparently, his wife was against it or something. I don't know. I don't really know the full story. Maybe I'll look it up one day. This match was a little crazy. There was a PCO assault attempt on... I want to say it was Chris Harris, but James Storm moved him at the last minute, in which, ouch. Kenny King doing a lot of good things with Heath Slater. They have some great chemistry. Maybe we'll see them down the line. Eventually, we do kind of get a face-off between Harris and PCO, in which maybe we get a singles match between these two one day. I know that's asking a lot of Harris, but I would love to see that. Babyface team wins after they hit all their finishers on, I believe it was Kenny King. And, a big old chaotic fun match, and I'm ready for more of these. This gets a thumbs up from me. Next up, a very, very interesting matchup, as it's the Clockwork Orange House of Fun match of Raven's own design. Quote the Raven, nevermore. as the man himself, Raven, comes out to the announce booth and announces the match, which is great. Now, as it's Sami Callihan taking on Moose once again, and during Sami Callihan's entrance, Moose sneaks up from behind him and attacks him in a hoodie, which is very Moose. A lot of weapon spots in this match, including Sami Callihan trying to stuff Moose into a garbage can, in which apparently at the bottom was a glass bottle, which Moose shatters all over Sami Callihan's head, and then with the broken end, scrapes against Sami Callihan's forehead. Throughout the ring, there were boxes of fun, which personally I don't get that. And one was full of Legos, the other was full of thumbtacks, in which both, ouch. Like, they really hurt each other. Sami Callihan with the Tiger Driver 69, nice. Looks like it's going to put down Moose. Then a cameraman puts down his camera, comes in, and just beats up Sami. It's revealed to be Steve Maclin, in which, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that match. That match would be awesome. Match ends with a big old spear by Moose, and that will do it. I'm going to give this match a big old thumbs up. That was a whole lot of fun, and I hope this isn't the last one. I hope we get one more somewhere down the line, and we get Full Metal Mayhem. I think that's the last place we need to go with this feud. Next up, for the Knockouts Championship, Jordynne Grace defends against former champion Tasha Steelz. And boy, oh boy, did these two have some great chemistry together. Looked like at one point, Grace would dominate Steelz, but Steelz using her quickness to get out of some sticky situations. And at some point, Tasha Steelz going for her finish, but then it gets blocked off by Grace. Grace with a whole bunch of backpack stunners. Goes for a top rope move, completely whips. And then Grace hits her big old finish, which I believe is, I think it's like a kind of border tossy move for the big win. And that doesn't win her and still Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. I'm going to give this match a big old thumbs up. It was a lot of fun. A lot of, Powerhouse versus Speed Demon, which is always great. The chemistry really worked. And that's it. And our main event for the Impact World Championship, as champion, Josh Alexander, the Walking Weapon, takes on Joe Doering. Now, during the build to Slammiversary, Doering got a DQ win over Josh Alexander while he was feuding with Eric Young. So that kind of got him into this position, which I'm definitely all for. That's a great way to use a DQ and build someone else up, which is great. I will say the chemistry between these two was lacking a little bit. Like, they weren't as clean as they could have been, including on a Joe Doering, not clothesline. It was a crossbody. That's it. A standing crossbody. That's what it is. Which did not look like it hit flush at all. Josh Alexander multiple times going for the C4 spike, which that gets countered because of Joe Doering's sheer size. Cody Deaner tries to get involved, and that brings Josh Alexander's wrath. Joe Doring looks like he has the match won. Alexander with a really good kick out. C4 spike. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Winner and still champion, Josh Alexander. And like I said at the beginning, their chemistry wasn't that great. It wasn't the best match I think it could have been. Maybe one day we'll see these two fight again, but overall, I'd say it's right here. It was still a lot of fun to see, but it wasn't as crisp as I think it could have been. Now, I hope you all enjoyed. My next predictions, it's going to be the end-ish of the month, and it might just be a doubleheader, as it's Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, the next pay-per-view under Tony Khan for Ring of Honor, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll be watching Ric Flair's last match. That's right, that should be a fun one. The card itself looks awesome. I can't wait for that. Yeah, so please like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and I shall see you next time. Peace.